There are recorded cases of surprising women, like a girl of 10 years old who saved about 100 people from a tsunami, a young woman who raises 7 children on her own, and a scientist who discovered radioactivity used today in X-rays. In addition, there are other extraordinary female protagonists all over the world, and that is exactly what you are going to see here today. So already leave your like, click below on the subscribe button, and let's go. Being very tall can be a challenge in many people's lives. Ekaterina Lysina is a woman who draws attention anywhere. With 2 meters and 6 centimeters in height, she was already a basketball player and even won an Olympic medal. But what makes her unique are her legs. The Guinness World Records recognize that hers are the longest in the world, with 1 meter and 30 centimeters. That is more than the height of a lot of people out there. Before being a model, she shone on the courts. She played professional basketball and was part of the Russian national team at the 2008 Olympic Games, taking a bronze medal. But after she left the sport, she decided to enter the fashion world, and not just any model, no. She became a reference because of her impressive height. Only not everything was easy. As a child, she suffered from teasing for being taller than everyone else. In adult life, she found another problem: finding a boyfriend. Many men do not want to go out with such a tall woman. She even set a minimum for suitors: 1 meter and 73 centimeters. But even so, she said it is not easy to find someone who accepts that difference. Today, Ekaterina lives in the United States and works as an influencer and model. She is successful precisely for what used to make her insecure: her height. From a very young age, Rama Haruna faced challenges that changed her life forever. At just 6 months, her legs and arms were affected, stopping growing and beginning to feel intense pain. Each day, the condition got worse, and over time, she totally lost the ability to walk, crawl, or hold things. Even with the effort of her parents, who did not have many resources, doctors could not find an explanation for what was happening. As the years passed, Rama came to depend completely on her family's help for the simplest activities, like eating or taking a bath. To move, she was placed inside a basin, and her brother Fahad was the one who took care of her, taking her for walks and helping with everything she needed. Despite the difficulties, Rama did not lose her dreams. She wanted to open a grocery store and sell products to people. Her story drew attention when a photo of her was shared on social networks, mobilizing several people willing to help. Even so, Rama's disease was never identified, and she passed away in December of 2016 at 19 years. Her life was marked by a constant struggle against a mysterious condition. In the history of science, few people have had as great an impact as Marie Curie. She was born in Poland and always had a strong desire to study. At the time, women could not study at universities in her country, but that did not stop her. She went to Paris in France, where she did her doctorate in physics, chemistry, and mathematics. There she met Pierre Curie, whom she married. Marie Curie was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize, and it was not just once, it was twice. The first in 1903 with her husband Pierre and Henri Becquerel for the discovery of radioactivity. The second in 1911 for the discovery of radium and polonium. Radium, which is a substance that emits radiation, was used in the past to treat diseases like cancer. However, nowadays, there are already safer methods for treatment. Polonium, which is also radioactive, is used to this day in equipment like power generators and smoke detectors. Because of these discoveries, Marie became the most known scientist in the world. Even with all the success, she faced a lot of prejudice for being a woman. She never let that shake her. During the First World War, Marie Curie used her knowledge of radiation to create mobile X-ray units, helping to save lives. She also founded 2 research institutes that keep making important discoveries to this day. Unfortunately, working with radiation caused health problems. Marie Curie died in 1934 from a disease caused by exposure to radiation at 66 years old. Speaking several languages is impressive, even more so when someone is so young. Bella Devyatkina, 12 years old today, conquered the world with her impressive ability to speak 7 different languages. At 4 years old, Bella already surprised everyone by easily speaking languages like English, Spanish, French, German, Chinese, Arabic, and of course, Russian, her native language. And what is most impressive is that she did not learn this in a difficult or boring way, but rather by playing, having fun with learning.
Russian?
Yeah.
English, Arabic, Italian, Spanish, German, Chinese.
Her mother, Yulia, has a very important role in this story. From a young age, she always taught Bella in a very light way, without haste, so that the girl would like to learn. Yulia did not think her daughter was a prodigy girl, but she believed in the power of fun teaching and the right technique, and the technique worked. Bella learned quickly and did not stop impressing. Today, Bella has already appeared on several TV shows, both in Russia and in other countries. She even has a YouTube channel where she shares her talent with the world. With her charisma and talent, Bella was recognized and honored with the Global Child Prodigy Award in 2020, an award that recognizes the most talented children in the world. Racial segregation in the United States imposed that black and white people had separate rights and spaces, like in schools and public transportation. Rosa Parks made history with a simple act of courage. From a young age, she realized that life was not the same for whites and blacks. For example, in school, she had to walk on foot because buses were only for whites. Over time, she kept seeing these differences and became revolted with the situation. But it was in December of 1955 that she really made history. Rosa was on the bus returning from work when the situation happened. At that time, black people had to sit in the back of the bus, and if the bus got full, they had to give their seat to white people. When that happened, Rosa refused to stand up. The driver asked her to stand, but she did not obey. As a consequence, Rosa was arrested. What seemed to be a simple act of disobedience turned into a great movement. After that, the boycott of the Montgomery Bus Company began, the same public transportation company where Rosa was when she refused to give up her seat to the white person. This boycott was a slap in the face of racial segregation. The movement lasted 382 days. Black people united and made the bus company go broke. Rosa's struggle helped unite the black community and gave visibility to the civil rights movement. Thanks to this movement, racial segregation on Montgomery buses was officially considered wrong by law. The boycott also helped boost the career of Martin Luther King Jr., a black activist who led protests in a peaceful way. Rosa died at 92 years. Revolutionizing the fashion world, Coco Chanel was the woman who forever changed the way people dress. Born in 1883 in France, she had a difficult childhood, losing her mother while still a child and being taken to an orphanage where she began to learn to sew. It was this skill that helped her create a brand that would be recognized worldwide. The designer earned the nickname Coco when she was young and sang in a bar. What made her stand out, however, was her ability to create simple and comfortable clothes, far from the tight and complicated garments that were popular among women at the time. She was one of the first to dare to wear pants and popularized the famous little black dress, the simple and elegant black dress that became a symbol of sophistication. In 1910, she opened her first hat shop and soon began to create clothes and accessories. Her brand, Chanel, soon became a fashion icon, and she was an independent woman who never married nor had children because she wanted to live her own life. Over time, Chanel grew even more, launching products like the perfume Chanel No. 5, which became one of the most famous in the world. Coco Chanel died in 1971 at 87 years old. Breaking barriers and standing out in a predominantly male field is not an easy task, but Amelia Earhart did that masterfully. She was a woman who became a world icon in aviation, showing the world her courage and independence. In 1932, she made the first solo crossing of the Atlantic Ocean, and it was not easy. No, she flew for 14 hours and 56 minutes alone in a small plane that was very difficult to fly. No one had done that before, and she did it in a way that impressed the whole world. Amelia was not afraid to show that women could do whatever they wanted, including flying. Her career was marked by incredible feats, like the solo flight from Honolulu in Hawaii to California in 1935. It was the first time anyone made that flight solo. Amelia also ventured into fashion, creating functional clothes and luggage for women. In addition, she helped found the 99s organization aimed at women pilots. But the most impressive thing is that in 1937, at 40 years old, Amelia tried to go around the world, flying over the Pacific Ocean between Australia and Hawaii. During the flight, she disappeared without leaving a trace. The plane was never found, and the mystery of her disappearance was never resolved. Her navigator, Fred Noonan, was also on board. In 1939, she was declared dead. Being born with 4 arms and 4 legs is extremely rare, and that was the case of Lakshmi Tatma. She came into the world in 2005 in a village in the state of Bihar in India. This happened because she had a type of twin, but the other sibling did not develop properly and was attached to her, so Lakshmi had the extra limbs. The condition is called a parasitic twin. Even with that, she managed to live and play, but she could not walk properly. She could only crawl. Lakshmi went through many difficulties because of this. Her parents, Shambhu and Poonam, were simple people and earned little. They really wanted to help their daughter, but they did not have money to pay for the surgery that could remove the extra limbs. When Lakshmi was just 2 years old, a big chance appeared. A doctor named Sharon Patil, along with more than 30 professionals, offered to perform the surgery that could save her life. They removed the extra arms and legs, as well as corrected other parts of the body that were wrong. The surgery was very difficult and lasted more than 27 hours, but Lakshmi survived and got well. Ida Lovelace was a woman who made history in science. Daughter of the famous poet and noble Lord Byron, she was born in 1815. Her mother wanted Ada to follow a path different from her father, so she educated her in mathematics and sciences, something rare for women at the time. Ada stood out in a field dominated by men, becoming one of the pioneers in science. In 1833, she met the mathematician Charles Babbage, who was creating an analytical machine to make calculations faster. Ada got so excited about the idea that she began to collaborate with him. Besides being excellent in mathematics, Ada had a great imagination, which led her to go beyond what was expected. When she translated an article about Charles Babbage's machine, she made notes and suggestions. After that, Ada wrote an algorithm for how the machine could do calculations by itself without a person's help. Ada was a pioneer of programming, imagining a machine that could do much more than simple calculations. She believed that one day machines could even think on their own, something that happens nowadays. Although she died young, at 36 years old, her work was only recognized much later. Ada Lovelace is considered the first programmer in history, and without her, today's computing might not even exist. From a very young age, Aaliyah Saber stood out for her exceptional intelligence. She was born in New York, and at just 10 years old, she entered Stony Brook University, where she graduated at 14 with excellent grades. In high school, she was already earning a black belt in Taekwondo. Such a young girl doing things many adults could not do. When she was 18 years old, Aaliyah became the youngest professor in history. She was invited to work at Konkuk University in South Korea in the technology department. She was so impressive that she entered the Guinness Book, the record book, as the youngest professor in the world. Even with so many achievements, Aaliyah faced difficulties. At Drexel University in Philadelphia, she said that a professor used her ideas to ask for money, obtaining support from companies and agencies that fund research. That professor also registered patents for Aaliyah's inventions, making it seem like the ideas were his and guaranteeing exclusive rights over the creations. Even with these obstacles, Aaliyah did not give up. Today, she studies law and aims to help other students protect their ideas and research. Child models are conquering the runways and showing that even young, they can achieve great feats. Selai West, at just 16 years old, is a clear example of this. At just 8 years old, she was already walking at the famous New York Fashion Week, and she did not stop there. At 10 years old, she launched her own t-shirt line, The Chatty Chick, a brand full of style and attitude. What impresses most about Selai is her determination. She learned everything by herself, without formal classes in modeling or runway. She just decided she wanted to be a model and, with her mother's support, became a success. Selai says she learned to walk the runway by watching videos and practicing at home. She also faced challenges. Since her natural hair is curly, she had difficulties with some hairdressers who did not know how to care for it. But Selai did not let herself be shaken and instead created videos to teach other girls to care for their own hair and feel confident. In addition to being a successful model, Selai also has a generous heart. She helps plant trees with each t-shirt sold, in partnership with the organization Trees for the Future. Being a mother is a challenge, but for Pamela Villaruel, that means much more than caring for one child. At 13 years old, she became pregnant for the first time, but was abandoned by the child's father. That did not stop her from moving forward, and in a new relationship, she became pregnant with triplets. However, the father of those girls also left her shortly after a few weeks. Pamela found herself alone with 4 children to care for. Her situation was noticed by neighbors who reported Pamela's involvement with older men, but there was no intervention from the authorities. At 16 years old, she started another relationship with a 35-year-old man. Again, she became pregnant with triplets, and again, the man abandoned her. Now, Pamela cared alone for her 7 children. Despite financial difficulties, Pamela works 2 jobs, but the money is not enough to cover all expenses. She counts on the support of neighbors and some donations. In spite of everything, Pamela says she would not change anything in her life because her children are her greatest miracles and she dedicates herself completely to them. Facing difficulties since childhood did not stop Frida Kahlo from becoming a symbol of strength and resistance. At 6 years old, she had poliomyelitis, a disease that affected her foot. That made her wear pants and wide skirts to hide the difference in her legs. When she was 18 years old, she suffered a streetcar accident. It was very serious and left her with a lot of pain throughout her life. After the accident, Frida began to paint because she could not do many other things. She painted about what she felt and what she went through. Her work spoke of pain, love, and her personal life. She expressed everything she felt through colors and paintings. Frida also got involved in politics. She was part of the Mexican Communist Party and fought for women's rights and for valuing her country's culture. The artist married Diego Rivera, a famous painter. Her art became known around the world, but she always said she never painted dreams, but rather her reality. Even with all the difficulties, Frida became a great artist and a symbol of resistance. She died in 1954. Frida Kahlo was a woman who made a difference in various areas. She created a unique style of art, helped value Mexico's culture, incorporating typical elements of the country in her works, challenged beauty standards, and helped inspire women to fight for their rights. Tilly Smith was a girl of just 10 years old when she lived one of the most incredible and heroic stories you can hear. In December of 2004, she was on vacation with her family in Thailand on a beach called Mai Khao. During the outing, she noticed something strange in the sea. The waves were moving away and the water seemed to boil as if it had foam on top. That made Tilly remember a geography class she had at school where the teacher spoke about tsunamis. She remembered exactly the images and the signs, like the water suddenly receding, which is one of the first signs that a tsunami is going to happen. Tilly got scared and ran to warn her parents, but at first nobody believed her. She screamed and insisted until her father began to realize that she was serious. Then he managed to convince a security guard who confirmed that something was wrong and that it could be a tsunami. With that, the people on the beach were quickly evacuated to the nearest hotel, going up to the 2nd floor. When the waves arrived, they were enormous, more than 9 meters high, but luckily the beach was empty and nobody died. Tilly was called a heroine. She saved many lives with the courage of a girl who knew what to do when no one else knew. Even being so young, she made a difference and changed the history of that day. Do not forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.